Hello, welcome back, Box1 here, and since it's summer, I thought we'd review a summer-themed set. This is set 31052, Vacation Getaways. It has 3 sets, ranging in difficulty from quick build, to medium build, to advanced build. And today we're going to be starting with the camper. Now, I'll show all 3 builds in this video individually. I'll talk about all 3, their things that are good about them, things that aren't as good about them, and we're going to be getting into all of that here. So I do hope you'll enjoy, and I'll see you in the video. First of all, we're going to be looking at the minifigures. We're not going to take too much time on them because they're pretty simple, but this is what you get. You get 2 minifigures. I believe it is a mother and a son. This guy has a very nice red jacket and a camera, which is just a camera piece with a cylinder and then a stud on it in trans clear. A little bit of back printing here, which is the just a common city like diver's torso print there. And then the mother is very simple as well. She has a green shirt on, and she has a chicken leg on a little hook there, and you can see some printing on the back. Very simple figures, no back face prints or anything, just simple creator figures. Still nice to get though. With the figures dealt with, we can now get on to the build. And there are a lot of things to talk about, so I'm just going to get the simple outdoor stuff out of the way, and then we'll get on to the camper, the boat, and the trailer. So the bear. The bear may be something you notice immediately, or maybe he's camouflaged so you don't notice him immediately, but it's a very simple bear. He uses some very simple brown pieces, and he is not in any of the other builds. Neither are his eye prints, but he is very interesting, and I do think having him here is kind of cool. These brown pieces, I remember when I was building him, they didn't come in a lot of sets, but they probably do now. He's a pretty cool build. He's just very simple. He does have some movability. He has his neck on a ball joint, his feet on hinges, and his actual legs on Technic pins, so he can move pretty well. But he's a pretty cool, just very simple build. He also does come with a very simple silver fish there in metallic silver, I think, or metallic gray, whatever you call it, and that's very cool inclusion as well. There are 2 trees as well included in this build. Very simple short tree with some yellow flowers, and a slightly taller tree with yellow and pink flower. Very nice. Now we get on to the accessories of like their outdoor setup. We have some chairs here. Very simple build, but a very cool build, and I do think it's an interesting one. You get 2 of those in this set. You also get a picnic table, which is simply on some bars, those legs, and then just a very simple tile top, and a grill, which does use a printed piece. That's a very nice printed piece there. Very simple, very common, but still very good. And you can put that chicken leg that the mother had on there if you want. Very cool. You can fold these all up and simply compact them and then place them on top of the actual camper van here. I'm just going to do it live because I want to kind of show you how these actually go in. This just simply slots onto here, and this closes down to secure the chairs, and then the grill goes right here. Very simple, but very nice mechanism. With the outdoor stuff done, we can get into the actual camper, and it's very easy to get into, which we'll talk about in a second. But we'll talk about the outside first, since that's what you can see. The camper itself is pretty interesting. It has this very cool cloth piece as an overhang, which can easily be just simply rolled up, or that actually rolls it out. You do it this way to roll it up, and that kind of gives you a better view of the actual side. This is a very nice door. I actually really like that door design. I think it's cool. It's that 3-panel one. You do get some windows as well. You can kind of see in there through those windows. And coming around to the front, you do get a windshield. Or I guess 2 big glass panels that act as a windshield. You can actually take the windshield off, as well as the roof, which we'll talk about in a little while once we get onto the interior. But you do have some stuff here, and we get a bar here, which is also going to be talked about when we get into the interior. I'll show you what it does on the exterior now, though. It pulls out another room, which gives it a lot more room on the inside. We'll close it for now, though. It's just a very simple build all the way around, but it is a very good-looking one. I mean, if you look at a camper in real life, it's pretty good. And you do get some hinges on the back as well, as you can see there, which will be openable for playability. I'll show you that again when we get into the interior. Getting onto the back of it, there's a skateboard hanging from a simple clip there, as well as a ladder, which can be used to get on top, obviously. And then we have a trailer for a boat. Now this boat and trailer are built almost last. I believe the bear is built last, and that's one of the only things built after it. But this is a boat. It's a very simple boat, but you get a boat in this set, which is great. I mean, it's very simple, as I said, and it's very small. Only really 2 minifigures can sit on it, but there is a little, whatever you call this thing, life preserver, I believe it's called, and a area for the character to sit and drive the boat. Another character or figure can sit at the front. It also has a motor on the back and is very simple, but as I said, very nice inclusion. And this is also supposed to be angled because it's on those slightly tensioned hinges there. Very nice. The trailer can connect and disconnect from the camper. It is just on a ball joint, so it's very simple there. And it's a very simple trailer, but very nice to have. And the boat is only connected to the trailer by those 2 white studs on the top, so it's very easy to get it off and pretty easy to get it on as well. And with the exterior and boat pretty much out of the way, we can get onto the interior, which itself is pretty interesting. To get on the inside, there's multiple ways. You can take off the 2 top panels, which are very easy to take off. They're just on a couple studs there. Maybe you will pull up one of these studded pieces if you do pull too hard. But you can get off the top that way, or you can get inside through the windshield, which can simply pull forward. It's a single clip which clips in here, and that allows you to access the 2 chairs in the front, which you can fit both your figures on. And when you have both characters sitting there, you can just take this and slot it back on. This entire build is actually built upside down, which is why you get these anti-studs up here, and I think it's a very interesting technique they use to do that. The actual interior is a bit cramped, obviously. It is a camper. It's not supposed to be a massive house or anything, but you do get a toilet. Obviously, you need a toilet. You get a map right here, which is pretty cool. It looks more like a digital map, but it's a very nice map there. And that section with the bed that can move out is actually pretty important here for getting more space. You can also lift up the bed, which is where these 2 suitcases are stored. You get a green one and a brown one that is set. That simply just fold back down as well. Very cool. You do get a kitchen area here with 2 cups as well as a pan and a sink. And then on the other side you get some storage here, which does have a sandwich because everybody needs a sandwich. Back here we have kind of like a little more seating or eating area, I guess you could call it. There is a tray that can fold out or can fold back up, and a nice seat here in yellow, as I said. There's also a TV on the side here, or maybe some type of other thing there. And then there is another compartment, which, again, has a sandwich in it. I don't know how good you'll be able to see that sandwich, but you can kind of see it in there, flop down. Very nice and very detailed interior, especially for a creator set in 2016. This is probably better than most creator sets now, and it's a very good deal, actually, and a very cool interior that we have here. But that's basically it for the first build, and I think it's probably one of the best creator sets I've seen just from this first build. I mean, it's a complete camper. It doesn't have one of the walls missing. It's not missing something like important. It has a bed. It has an eating area. It has a toilet. It has a boat, a bear, outdoor supplies. I mean, it's a great deal, especially for the price, which I forget off the top of my head, but it will be on screen right now. And it's a very, very nice set. But that does need to be said that there are 2 more builds, as I have told you previously. So we're going to be getting onto them now. We're going to be getting onto the house next, and then finally the boat. So let's get onto the house, which means disassembling this, which is going to be a whole task in and of itself, something like that. Let's get into it. And with the second build complete, we can get onto it. The figures didn't change at all. The kid now just rides a skateboard, and the mother stayed the same. The build itself is pretty cool. It comes with a car side build as well as a little grill or furnace side build here, and we're going to be looking at those quickly first. With the car being the more interesting of the 2, I thought we'd start with it. It has 1 seat in there, and you can probably sit another figure in the back or just on here. And steering wheel, a nice little rack for the lights, and some interesting building techniques to give it that nice back shape. The windshield is actually on a little thing like that, so it can be moved a little higher if you want it to be like this, or if you want it to be all the way down. That doesn't probably look good, but you can move it to how you like. It also has a grill on the front with some headlights, and is overall pretty simple otherwise. Very nice. The furnace is even simpler, or grill, I guess it would probably be a grill. You can put, obviously, the chicken leg that the mother has on the grill, and then there's also 2 cups here. It's a very simple build, just uses a lot of slopes and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty cool. Now, the main attraction is the house itself, and it's pretty cool. You may be able to tell that there's a line through it. That's because it's on a hinge. I'm going to show the outside first, then we'll get on to the interior. The outside is pretty good. I actually really like the front. The front is obviously the main area you'd view it from, or even this way. And that looks pretty good. There's an antenna on the roof as well as a chimney. There's also a skylight, which is pretty cool, which is on a nice angle there. And we have a bunch of windows, which does actually add to the look quite a bit. There's a top deck up here with a chair and a table, and then finally, or for the roof area, we do use that cloth again as an awning. On the side, though, we do have a very nice sunroom, which goes in there, you can see, as well as some chairs and a table over here. Also, there's the door on the front, which is that same 3-panel door as we saw earlier. Now, we can turn it around to the back, and this is the only real way you probably don't want to view it as much or display it. I mean, it's very simplistic, and it's mainly just for the structure of the thing. On this side, as I said earlier, has a skylight, has an antenna, has a chimney, but it also has some windows down here, and a bunch of bushes going all the way around the house, which is pretty cool. We can now get on to the interior, which is simply accessed by flipping it open, and it can be just like that, actually. So maybe you want it like this, and this is actually a pretty good way to display it as well. Kind of an interesting idea there. But anyway, the interior is pretty simple in most places, but still pretty good. There's a bed here. Very nice bed, just a simple bed. This is a door leading to the outside area with that chair and that table. There's also this little cabinet here with nothing inside. A little TV or something like that for the bedroom. Down here is a little kitchen. There's a sink and a stove with a pot on it. Or not a pot, but a pan. And yeah, that's pretty simple kitchen, but still pretty cool. You also have the door in there that leads outside. And then there's also a bathroom. So, yeah, poop where you eat. Lovely. But anyway, there's just a bathroom in there and a little bit more space with a lantern. But yeah, a much simpler build than the camper, which is obviously took a lot more time to look at than this. But yeah, still a good build, and I actually quite like how it is. I just think it's a great little display house. I think it could go well in any city, in any forested area. It can go well anywhere, and I think it's a very nice just building and kind of a cool display thing as well. Anyway, let's get on to the final build, which we'll be looking at right now for you, but probably it'll take 4 hours for me to take this apart and build it. But yeah, I hope you'll enjoy that. Let's get on to the final build. With the third and final build built, we can actually look at the thing, and it is a yacht. It is a very nice yacht, in fact, and I think it's really nice. So this family must be extremely rich to have a camper, a house, and a yacht. But anyway, it's a pretty interesting one. I guess we can take a look at the outsides. We're just gonna yoink them away. And we can look, I guess, at this side's first, since it's just facing us. It's pretty simple outside. I mean, it's a yacht. There's some interesting details, like on the front, we have just a little area here. I don't know what that's for, maybe for hitching it to the dock or whatever. I'm not into boats, but it's a nice little detail there. And just they use these rods that were on the table, on the picnic table, and from some other things to just give it some more details around the edges. There is some nice windows here that go right down onto the beds, or maybe these are tanning beds or some type of bed there. But yeah, that's kind of cool, so you can look out at the stars while you sleep, so that's kind of an interesting detail. There's some windows on the side, so you can actually see in, or I guess see out of the yacht. And then there's also a very nice back area. Now this back area is pretty interesting. It has this very cool awning here, and this awning can actually be raised up. Unlike the other ones, it can't just be simply retracted like on the camper, but you can raise it up, and I think that's pretty cool. On here, there's simply 2 seats and a ladder leading up to the upper deck, which is right here. And you can see right here the upper deck, which we might as well look at. It simply has a seat here and a computer, as well as a little windshield, so maybe bugs don't get in her face or something, so she can drive the yacht and just sit in there. I'll put her on there right now, actually. And that's what it looks like with her up there. We can also take a look at this top part, which is just a lot of boat stuff. I don't know what all these things are supposed to be, but because I, as I said earlier, don't know much about boats, other than they're cool. And yeah, maybe some communications or something, or just some antennas here for getting signal on something. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the top. It is a pretty cool little thing here, and I do think it looks pretty good. But on the other side, it's very similar to the side we looked at already, and going up to the front, it's just a mirror image. Basically down the center, there are some differences, as you can see, but still a very nice looking yacht on the outside. The inside is easily accessible as well. As you can see, there are some hinges here, and you can simply open this up if you want to get some figures in there. We can maybe lay the kid on the bed there, and then close it up. Very simple, but you can get onto the actual interior here by just taking off the roof, and that's simply just on two sets of 1x4s with that little flat center there. There's a suitcase on the one side, as well as a little area to prepare some food. There's a pan and a sink, as was in the camper and the kitchen of the house. There's a clip here. Maybe you can clip something. I don't know what, but you can clip something on there if you want. On the side, there's also some tables, or there's a table, and there's two chairs, as well as two cups, so they can drink and they can eat there. Very cool. Otherwise, it's a very simple interior. That's basically it. I mean, you get to sleep, you get to eat, you don't get to go to the bathroom. I mean, you're in the middle of the ocean, so... but anyway, yeah, it's a pretty simple interior otherwise, and it doesn't have too much else to say, other than there are doors connecting the rooms, so they are technically accessible. But with that said, that's basically it for this yacht build, so we can get on to the final, I guess, opinion on this set. And my final opinion has probably been made pretty clear throughout the video. I really like this set. I think it's really cool. I think none of the builds feel incomplete. The only two things I could say that I don't quite think are great is the back of the house, and that's the major one, being kind of unpleasant to look at, and the yacht not having a toilet, but honestly, who cares about that? This is pretty cool. I really like this set. And for the retail price of $70 back in 2016, which probably was a bit high back then, but now that's like a dream, it's a really good price. And now you can get it for about $140 to $160 new, and about the same price used, for retail price used, basically. But it's a pretty nice set. I really like this as both display and play, and I do hope you enjoyed this too. Anyway, again, do hope you enjoyed this. I really did, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.